Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Racing Social Cheltenham Festival Debrief 2023. Last week, success, failure, heartbreak, and ecstasy. Matty, Ben Paulin, good week last week, and how was it for yourself?
Oh, great week for the yard. We had a couple of thirds. Shake 'em up, Harry, good old global citizen. Both solid yardsticks, both ran the races. Absolutely delighted with the pair of them. I think fingers crossed, all being well, they both head to Aintree. For myself, great week. Absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the Tuesday. Probably the best day's racing I've had in a long, long time. It was just pure emotion from watching Honeysuckle, then being wowed by Constitution Hill, and then old Jazzy Matty doing the business. So it was a great day Tuesday.
And night, I understand.
Well, yeah, and night, right.
But Dawn, what about you? You were there Tuesday and thoroughly enjoyed that, I presume?
Oh, incredible, Joe. Jesus, you couldn't ask for any more. It was the perfect day. Even when because I did my 24 hours of like getting on the plane, going, coming back, and it was dreamland. And anybody that was there, they're still living off that. And I think we'll live off it for years to come. I mean, we were just treated to so much good. And like that, yeah, we went down in the money during the week and everything, but if you just pulled yourself back to that golden hour of racing where you had Constitution Hill, your national treasure, and then Honey, our national treasure. And even thinking about Honey now, still I get, it was magic. And Jazzy Matty, that was a different type of emotion because of me banging on consistently for the whole season. And then going with the second horse, that hurt a lot, but I was happy for everybody else. I really was. I was so happy. I had an El Fabiolo day, but Jazzy Matty will haunt me forever. But look, sure, Jesus, it was every racing fan's dreamland and non-racing fan, and we can live off that for the rest of our lives. And if we never see a day like that again, I'm okay with that. It was amazing.
It is the best week of the year, and it's a long week. I hear people saying they're going to go Lanzarote, Tenerife, Benidorm for the Cheltenham Festival. It's cheaper, but I wouldn't be anywhere else but on the course. Even though I'm there at 7 o'clock, leaving at 7. It's just a long old week, long old slog, but there's nothing better. We've all had Cheltenham blues, but let's have a quick chat about last week. Then we're going to start off with day one in the Supreme. Obviously, Marine Nationale put Facile Vega in his place. To me, Facile had no excuses. Marine was just an unbelievable performance, mate, wasn't it?
Oh, fantastic performance. I actually, listening to O'Sullivan after the race, how proud and how he was, so every word he had was just for the horse and how talented it was. And Facile Vega, obviously, absolute lovely beast of a horse, but has he got the champion bumper curse? You win a champion bumper, and I can't remember the last horse since Q Card to win a champion bumper and train on properly. I'm not saying he won't, not saying he will, but I was very impressed with Marine Nationale. Whether I see him as a champion hurdle horse, I think the form could be questionable.
But I did see him as a hurdle horse on Tuesday, but there was a result on the Wednesday which changed my mind, but we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Dawn, Facile Vega ran his race, but the writing was on the wall approaching the last, wasn't it?
It was, and it was almost painful to watch, Joe. It really was. And because Marine Nationale was the talking horse, and back at Punchestown in September, and I was there because Country Queen was running, and I seen Adamantly Chosen win that day too. People said, this is your Cheltenham horse. Barry Connell said, this is your Cheltenham horse. We went to Ferry House. Barry Connell kept saying, he's going to win the Supreme. He's going to win the Supreme. And he was knocked out to 5-1. And I was going, what an absolute supreme dream at 5-1. It was crackers. And looking back at the race now, you go, what were you thinking? But then, yeah, okay, we can argue about Fazio Vega till the cows come home, and then more cows come home. I still have a lot of faith in the horse. I really, really do. He is a very good horse, and we cannot forget what he's done. Has he lost his way a tiny, tiny bit? Yes, possibly, but so did Envoy Allen. Okay, and we've seen what he's gone on and done, and that's probably where we were going on to with the Wednesday. But I wouldn't give up on Fazio Vega. I hate this kind of nonsense that's going on Twitter at the moment, that he's rubbish and he's not that good and everything else. Absolute nonsense. If you look in Willie's Trilby, when he took it off when Galloping won, who did he have inside? Vega, Fazio's mum. He thinks a lot of the horse still. I think a lot of the horse still. The third horse as well, Diverge. He ran a very good race against, he was 22-1. But Supreme National, Mikey O'Sullivan, Barry O'Connell, Maria, who's his groom, they all deserve a round of applause, because that was an absolute supreme dream, and I can't take it away from the horse. He was fantastic. And his word, he's going to Royal Ascot, so even better.
I swear that one. The in behind, I was quite pleased with the way Dark Raven ran. He was bang there, approaching the last. They just out sprinting up the hill, but he'd be quite interesting over a fence and over further, Matty, would you say?
I definitely wanted a trip. He was actually one of my eye catchers as well. I probably would have backed him if he ran the Ballymore. Anyway, so I always thought he wanted a trip.
Yeah, I did. I think he was entered in the Bartlett as well.
Yeah, but there's only one reason why he didn't run the Ballymore. So yeah, no, I totally agree. I think over a fence next year, maybe over two. Well, he might stay here. Well, no, he will go chasing next year. Over 2.5, upwards of 3 miles. He's one to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that, Raven there. So move on to the Arkle now, Dawn, and the front two come to the fore, Al Fabiolo and John Bon. I was blown away by Al Fabiolo. I fancied him beforehand, and it was just what we wanted. It was like a catwalk of equine, what do you say, horsegasm before the race, wasn't it? They're both proper lookers, aren't they?
Oh, beautiful, Joe. Jesus Christ. And even Sam Roy as well, who ended up third, but he was not a bad third, but he was third all the same. Third at Cheltenham, you take any day. But they were all just smashing. And somebody came over to me and he was standing there and he fought with me about John Bon. And yes, John Bon would, and I get dug out about saying this, he'd be beautiful as a hunter at the Horse of the Year show. He's gorgeous and he's got crazy eyes, but he is a gorgeous horse in his own right. But El Fabiolo just wanted it more. He just really, really wanted it. And yeah, okay, he was a little bit clumsy over the last again, and people are constantly trying to find a chink in his armor. He's big, he's beautiful, and he's proved himself now. And you see, his head is the size of my body. He is just, he's a tank of a horse. And I think, unfortunately, John Bon has found a better one, and it could be the two of them now constantly up against each other or wherever either of them go. But the best horse won, and I'm not even going to say, oh, the best horse won on the day. The best horse won, and he was fantastic. He was everything you wanted in an Arkle winner.
It was only his third chase start as well. And people tried to say beforehand his jumping was dodgy, but I think it was they were clutching, and he jumping until the last was superb. He even jumped the last well. He looked like he was going to sprawl on landing. I found myself ducking down, thinking he was going to slip a bit like Galloping the Champs did the year before. But thing about him, Matty, when I look at Al Fabiolo go through his race, he's warrior type. He reminds me of Alvin Photo as well. I look about him, which is like he's hard and one you wouldn't want to mess with. And we spoke beforehand, John Bon probably needs further now, does he? And 2 times now he's run into Constitution and Al Fabiolo at the festival, but he's just a bit unlucky, is he, John Bon?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very, very good horse in his own right. I know people are trying to pick holes in Al Fabiolo's performance and his jumping. And to be honest, I thought El Fabiolo made 1 or 2 novice mistakes on the whole way around. And I was actually watching this race in the Guinness Village on the big screen, and I was cursing at Paul Townend. I was like, "You've let John Bon get away. What are you doing? Come on." He was so confident from the back of 4 out. And I was like, "Oh, you've let John Bon slip. You can't do this."
I did panic a bit when he nipped up the inside.
Yeah.
And then Graveman's route there.
And then he obviously gave him a squeeze and this thing just took off. And what I like about him, he was still novice, and to win a Grade 1 Arkle on your third chase run round Cheltenham, beating John Bon, still with a few novice mistakes, shows what a talent he is. He is going to be. I actually think he'll win next year's champion chase.
Is that an anti-post tip you're putting up, Matty? Come on.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Go on.
It is. Yeah. Depends if a certain Mr. Hill turns up in whatever race Constitution Hill turns up in, then we have to reevaluate. But at the moment, we know El Fabiola's know for the champion chase. So all being well, he turns up. I think he'll be hard to beat.
No, I'd have to agree with you there. And Dawn quickly, Dysart Dynamo, bless him. Would he avoid Cheltenham now? He's gonna. He
is madness personified, and I think we did have this discussion. And some people are split. Some people say yes, they remember. Others say no, they don't remember. I believe they remember, and that horse remembered. And look, it was great to think, he was there and he was flying along and he was having a brilliant time. And then everything just came crashing down like last year again. And we made the joke with Richard Hoyles. He's a bit like some of the guys that turn up for Cheltenham and, they're kind of done by the first race. And poor old Dysart Dynamo, it was brilliant to see him get up. And I'd say we'll see him at Punchestown. And let's hope, he has a nice run around Punchestown. And I do believe he's a very good horse. And I do believe he don't like Cheltenham. So I'd leave DD at home next year. But look, I'm not going to argue with King Willie on that one. It's his decision where he goes. But it's just, from my personal point of view, I used to have a show pony that would go psychotic in Ring 2 at Dublin Horse Show. We knew not to bring him back. So time will tell.
Champion herd now, Matty. I'm not going to say nothing on this race because I said it beforehand and there's nothing more we can say. Someone might need to say something. They disagreed, but Matty, you go first.
Well, I thought State Man should have won if he didn't make that mistake. I'm only joking. No, what can you say? Speechless. Absolutely speechless. And I've been crabbing Constitution Hill all season with the State Man, and I thought State Man might half put up to him. Oh, how I was wrong.
It's the way that he couldn't get close enough.
Yeah.
To get beside him.
Yeah. And I don't know if anyone's seen Sam Twiston's jockey cam.
I've seen that, yeah.
1 minute Constitution Hill's upside him, and next minute you can just see a shadow going up the hill. And it's crazy. I was actually stood right at the top where they pull up for this, and goosebumps, absolute goosebumps.
Obviously, you'll both understand this better than me because you obviously both ride horses. But I speak to a bloke in the members' bay, had binoculars on. He said binoculars weren't that good, but he was watching Nico's arms. Obviously, he couldn't see close enough to see his hands, but he said, as soon as he gave the rein a twist to say go, he had his close eye. The response was instant.
Yeah,
and you can actually see it on the telly on the replays where Nico he does literally just twist his reins, that's the button they're on about, weren't it? And that response is something else.
It's just a testament to Barry Geraghty and how well broken in he's been, and how much of a soft mouth he's got as well.
Right, yeah.
A little thing like that, just a twitch of the reins, pick the bit up slightly bit further into the mouth, and they know that is time to go.
Right, okay.
Amazing.
Come on then, Dawn. Firstly, I have to put an apology out to Mr. Hill. And when I say horsegasm, I say multiple horsegasms. I have had arguments this week with people still saying he's bet nothing. What the absolute, like, Jesus Christ. Not only that, but if you can't appreciate him as a racehorse, which obviously you can, but appreciate him as a horse too. Like, I talked about the red mist that comes over people's eyes when they talk about him. And my whole thing was that I had to get over, I had to see it and I had to feel it for myself. Did I see it and did I feel it? Yes. Can I explain it? No, I can't. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. He's otherworldly. He's just, and he is what's going to, like we talk about Honey and that, and everybody just got so much on board, whether you liked racing or you didn't. I think Constitution Hill will get people back fascinated. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. It's about a horse. Like Arkle, like Red Rum, like Dawn Run, all of them, Honeysuckle, they get people back. They get people talking. They get your milkman talking, get the postman talking. Even my postman got my big speech about 20 minutes about Con Hill. And like what Matty was saying as well, it is a testament to the way Barry started him off. You always know with a lot of horses that they've had a great start. Tiger Roll was the same. He got a great start in life and you know they were loved, and it does make a difference. And this horse, like that, when Nico asked, he just went and he wants to do it. He wants to do it and he just wants to give. I'm totally bewitched. And I still love State Man for State Man. But unfortunately, the new bright shiny toy that I've seen is just, I cannot fault him in any way. He's just amazing. I'm blown away.
Anti-post wise, I think if you back him for the Arkle or Champion Chase, you're onto a winner there. Either way, it definitely goes chasing, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wherever he goes, if he goes to the moon tomorrow, I'd find a way to see him. That's the truth, you know.
And he'd still win. He'd still win.
Yeah.
Can we get a price on that, Matty? Sky bet? I mean, like that.
Constitution will get to the moon first, 5 to 4.
Nap.
Mare's Hurdle now. Obviously, Honeysuckle beat Love Envoy. I thought Love Envoy was absolutely superb, considering she was rated £12 behind Honeysuckle, and she is one for chases next year, in my opinion. She's a monster of a horse. But Honeysuckle done. I'll let you start off with this one.
It was beautiful, Joe. It was everything. And as Honey left the parade ring, you've seen everybody was cheering her, everybody was clapping her. Whether it was win, lose, or draw, she was going to do it. Again, the moaning and the giving out beforehand, she shouldn't be going to the mares. She would have went in the Champion Hurdle. No. This was perfect. This was the perfect goodbye. This was the perfect send-off. Everybody was in floods of tears. Everyone. And it's, again, like I say, it was the golden hour of racing and it was a beautiful goodbye. There was a rainbow and we know whose rainbow it was. It was Jack. So it was even more poignant. And I thought she just looked like she wanted it. And the way she fought back, she was nearly angry when she was fighting back at Love Envoy, like, how dare you even take me on? So I'd say I hear Love Envoy is coming to Punchestown, which is great. Theatre Glory, who was a very good sixth as well, who, you know, she was getting dug out for being even entered in the race. She ran a solid race. She's coming to Punchestown. Queensbrook will probably go to Punchestown. What now for Brandy Love? We don't know. Marie's Rock, she's going to Aintree, Nikki said today, staying over 3. But that mare's race, down in history, beautiful, perfection, glorious. And let's all be honest, it is what we wanted. It is really what we wanted. It's what I wanted anyway. And I'm selfish.
I was more in flood of tears. My appetite anti-post bet when that was done. That was done at an early stage. I think Matty did the pace, the lack of pace, catch her out because she was just pulling for her head the whole time.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I can. Yeah, possibly. But the first two in the mark that finished the race, Love Envoy and Honeysuckle, They are very, very good mares. And don't get me wrong, Epatante is a fantastic mare. But even at a true run race, would she have got close to them two on the day? I'm not sure.
No.
I stood at the top as well for this. And I don't really get emotional watching horses. But there was just something about me that got a shiver. And when I seen, to be fair, I had £20 on Honeysuckle on course. So it wasn't a big bet. Wasn't talking out my pocket. And I can't even, I'm speechless, because to have that feeling of being there around all these people who wanted her to win, and I almost got very emotional watching it. My heart was beating like if I take one of my own horses racing and they come with a chance.
Yeah.
And that's strange for a horse that I've had no association with personally. But honestly, it is the best moment on a race course that I've ever had, watching Honeysuckle win the mares. Unbelievable.
Special moment. So we will come back if we get time to the rest of the day one races, but we'll move on to day two quick, try and get through the grade ones. Ballymore, Impair a Pass, beat Gaelic Warrior, and third was Champ Kylie. Don't worry, Dawn. I'm not going to start slating him. He ran a cracking race. But just quickly, the winner blew me away. That was so impressive, Dawn. And he, in my opinion, I was thinking Marine Nationale for next year's Champion Hurdle, and then this lad come along, and I'm thinking, wow, him in a Champion Hurdle, 2 miles, serious horse.
Yeah, I have to give him credit where he's due, Joe. And look, double green and all that. You know where my heart lay.
He ran his race.
He ran his race. He hung right, and he hung right very hard. I know Connections of Champ thought he'd win. I know Willie, in some of the debriefs afterwards, as much as he liked Impair Pass, he was speaking a lot about Champ Kylie, which makes me wonder there is something big and more to come. Maybe it's not Cheltenham, maybe it's something else. And I know for the future he's going to be a Gold Cup horse. That's the sights on him. I think old Gary Gaelic Warrior ran a very good race too. I mean, he fought and he lost his earplugs going down to the start, so that probably didn't help him either, because he's a bit bonkers from watching him in the parade ring at DRF. He's a little bit bonkers, but that wasn't. But Impair Pass, yeah, he is. He's kind of special. He was the guy that spoiled the party for me. But as if I take my heart out of it and just put in my head, it was a smashing performance. It really, really was. And again, another fantastic ride. You know, he really brought his A game. And of course, you'd say, well, he'd won too. But after all the rubbish at DRF, you kind of go, well, he pulled up his socks and he brought his A game, a serious one. So the 1, 2, 3 in this race are all very, very good horses.
Yeah. And Matty, we touched on Paul on Fabiolo. On Impair Pass, confidence again.
I'm not surprised having that engine underneath you.
Like him.
Oh, he's a real deal. He is the real deal. From what I heard from the weeks before, they're putting this horse in the category of a Tour Duvan for Heen.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a real deal. He'll win the next 2 or 3 Champion Hurdles.
Like it. Like confident. Is that another anti-post? You joining me?
Have what you want on him to the Champion Hurdle next year.
Nice.
Nothing beats him. Nothing beats him.
Wow.
Unless Constitution Hill stays hurdling, then we are scratching our heads, but he won't. So
No.
We're saving all this. You know, I'm keeping all these screen
don't
recordings.
you worry. The double green are going to win.
Keep it on.
The double green are going to win the Champion Chase and the Champion Hurdle next year.
Lovely.
The Brown Advisory, the real whacker. That was some performance jumping like that out in front. And I didn't back him. I didn't think he had a chance of winning, but I was so happy for Sammy and the whole connections, Dawn. It was just superb to watch.
Oh, it was brilliant. And it was a romantic type of story too, because we do want a bit of romance at Cheltenham. And Patrick Neville, he openly said he couldn't get horses over here, so he moved over to your side of the pond. And didn't he get a very, very good one? That horse just wants it. He seems to want it, and he wanted it more than Jerry Calam. Now, I know there's a lot of Jerry Calam, including myself, soreness. Soreness and silence as well, but I know Gordon is sending him to Aintree because he says the ground will be gone from a Punchestown. So I wouldn't give up on that horse either, because when he did come, he came hard. But the real whacker, and the guy who owns him, if you're ever in Limerick, go down to the nightclub and you'll be given a very, very good night. And I'd say they'll be celebrating from this March to next March. It was glorious. And Sam Twiston Davis, take a bow. It was such a good ride, and a brave ride too on him, a really, really brave ride. So I was, as much as I was heartbroken for one of the bankers of the week, I was only happy for the real whacker. And Braun, talking about double green, my God, he was like 150 to 1 that morning. And he gave Willie his 4,000 winner as well. So he was kind of saying, you've all forgotten about me. He was a decent each way play, but I know the real whacker, you would not begrudge him, the trainer, the jockey, or the owner. It was brilliant.
Matty, on one of the previews, Batchy shot me down because I said Ty Mill has got a stinker in him. And remember, Dawn, he really did shoot me down. And
yeah,
wait till I see Batchy next, because that was the stinker of all stinkers.
It was so bad. I shouldn't laugh, but it was ridiculous now.
What are your thoughts on the race, Matt?
Do you know what I thought? Well, I was watching a bit of Chepstow today, and they interviewed Sammy before racing. He said not only was it great to ride with the festival, but he knew going out there that no matter what happened, he would have a great time on it.
Yeah,
it travels, it jumps. He knew he'd have. He said, I think the word he used was fun. I'll have a fun time on it, and he did. And there's been people slating Gainford for the ride on Jerry Colomb. Yeah, he might have sat and waited a bit too long or whatever, but Sammy Twiston gave that an absolute peach. He jumped from fence to fence, give it a breather when it needed, kicked again. It was one of the rides of the week. Fantastic ride, fantastic horse, brilliant for the owners, brilliant for the yard. Real nice story to see. Great.
Yeah, I have to agree. So the Queen Mother now, and I spoke to you before the race, Dawn, and Energumene, he looked a bit thin when he was beat in January, but when we saw him in parade during this time, he looked back to what he was from Ascot when he beat Shishkin, beat him. And when Paul banged him out, I was so happy because they had the tactics that had him a whisker behind Shishkin, and there was nothing of Shishkin's levelling behind. And obviously the rain came, and for me, this performance from Energumene and Paul Townend hasn't been spoken about enough, has it, Matty? We were speaking about before, and this was, regardless of Edward Stone, was he right or not, this was an unbelievable performance.
Oh, great performance. He's a fantastic horse. And there's a funny thing about this horse, he actually won an English point to point. Which you think, well, why is Willie coming over and buying an English point to point winner? But he's by the same sire as Undersow.
Yeah.
And there's not many of them knocking about. So that was the reason why Willie had him bought. And, well, he's fantastic to watch, isn't he?
He is. Just you mentioned Undersow there, looking back to January when he was beat, obviously that was rearranged. Obviously, Undersow did that. The Clown's House was cancelled. He went and won the week after. Energumene didn't win the week after, but Undersow was hardier type. Is it possible that he was trained for that day and then it was off, and then he was like, you know, that affected him.
Possibly. I mean, these horses aren't machines. For all we know, he might have just got out of bed on the wrong side that morning. He might not have travelled over as well. Might have been disrupted. We don't know. As you said, he looked a bit light in January, which I know it's a completely different spectrum, but obviously we took Global Citizen over to America. I know it's a completely different sort of thing, but travelling, Global Citizen didn't take to it one bit. He lost nearly 60 kilos over in America. So just little things. He might not travel, might not. We don't know, but he was cherry ripe last week, and by God, he was very good.
And Ergamine was back in a big way, Dawn.
Oh, completely. It was the Energamine that we all kind of know and love, and he just went. And when I seen that Paul Townsend was done for interference, who was he interfering with, himself? The crowd? I am really confused at that situation. And then I look and I was like, it was 10 lengths to Captain Guinness and then 24 lengths back again. It was a one horse race, really. And I know we had like Nylon and that, and you would have hoped, you know, for Editor de Gite to run, and he did run a good race and that as well. But when it kicked in with Energamine, there was only one winner. And to do that 2 years on the bounce, and we talk about him and Shishkin, that Clarence House race, that's one of the races of the decade. And another one that will go down in history, and credit where credit's due. He's just incredible. Willie did say, and I remember I was at Nace and he was speaking and he said that it was the white, and he fixed that situation. I tried to disagree, but I'm no Willie Mullins. And everything was perfect on the day. It was just perfect. The ride was perfect. Obviously, somebody was annoyed with the interference with nothing else, but it was perfect. And I'm so excited because Punchestown Festival is going to be some festival this year if these all turn out, you know, and I'd say that's the next plan with him. He's on to the Punchestown Festival. So as much as I like to talk about the other horses in the race and poor old Eddie Stone, God knows what happened there, but there was only one out and out winner from start to finish.
And Matty, do I dare put him up for a Ryanair?
Wouldn't be the worst idea.
No, because Al Fabiolo comes up. We ain't gonna flash, is he?
No.
Might be 10 next year.
Yeah, I totally agree. Wouldn't be the worst bet in the world. Not at all.
No, I'll have a quick look at that. Cross country, the two class horses come to the fore, Dawn. Hell of a race, especially when Galvin actually headed down to work and he just thought, no, you are not going to upset me on today. So that was a hell of a race, wasn't it?
Oh, God, Mr. Tall, Dark and Handsome. That's one of my anti-posts that actually came in. And when he came, you were there. I wasn't on the Wednesday, unfortunately, but when he came back up the chute, he was like, you know, Muhammad Ali. He was like, yeah, you want more of this. He was just incredible. And to have his little brother, Jazzy Matty, win the day before, you know, like, how cool was that to have the two of them do that? But he wasn't having any of Galvin. Galvin is very good in his own right. I know there's discussions going on now about, should, and ITV even brought it up, should grade 1 horses be allowed to run in a fun cross-country race? I think once you're having a winner, you're happy, are you not? You know, whatever the case may be. And to see 2 class horses like that clash at the end, and Keith Donoghue, the only person who has ridden more now, I think, cross-country winners is Nina Carberry, but Keith's getting close. So it was just perfection. And Delta Work, to me, he's 12-1 for the Grand National. I thought, and I said it from the minute I seen him when he made his season debut at Punchestown, he's my Grand National horse. And he needs to get as much praise as possible. And I'm so glad this year that he got all the cheers he deserved. There was none of that other booing this year. It was all cheers, and he got his moment. And he's won 5 grade ones now. He's danced all the dances, and wouldn't it be lovely to top it off with Jack Kennedy in the Grand National? It would just be perfection. So I was more than happy. Galvin, yes, lovely horse, but he's not my Delta work.
Dawn touched on Keith Donahue there, Matty, and watching the race, he was a good approaching. Is it the entry fence, the one on the turn?
Yeah.
He was a good 10, 15 metres wider than anything else approaching that fence. And I was looking at it thinking, where's he going? But obviously, it's to create that angle to approach the fence, to make ground. And he rides that track better than anyone else at the minute, doesn't he?
Oh, he's fantastic, isn't he? As Dawn said, grade 1 horses shouldn't be able to run it, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not right. These horses, if they take to it, they jump around there, they enjoy it, you let them run.
Definitely.
Whether the grade 1 horses or they're rated 105.
Yeah.
You pay your entry, you take your chance.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes. I was love to see it. Delta Work and Galvin, brilliant to watch. And Jazzy Matty's big bro doing the business, brilliant.
In the space of 24 hours, I mean, how class, Shout out to the mum Robe. She's just, I talk about golden wombs, she's definitely got one.
Quickly, we'll come back, like I said, day 3, the Turners, Matty, and I know people will say it was like Mighty Potter disappointed, but this was a bit poor race on paper moving forward, is it? Well, not being a bit hard to stage that.
I'm one person to slate Stage Star all year. I've always said, and even last year in the novice hurdle campaign, I said he's not much good. He's a glorified handicapper, blah, blah. And he just keeps proving me wrong. So he's going to have to get to a point where actually I accept that he's a very, very good horse. I thought Cobden was fantastic on this.
To be fair.
I thought he was brilliant. He dictated. Stage Hard didn't just win the race. Harry Cobden won the race as well. He dictated. He literally had every other jockey in behind at his beck and call, doing what he wanted. I thought it was a great ride. We can question the form, but who knows? Stage Star is a very, very good horse. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him win another grade 1.
Okay. I do agree with Harry Cobden, but for me, it was a great ride, but it wasn't his best ride of the week. I think his best ride of the week came in defeat, but we'll get back onto that in shortly. Dawn, what are you laughing at?
12 months we've got this.
Mighty Potter, Dawn?
Yeah. Oh, God. I don't like digging out horses, okay? But 3 of my bets, I wouldn't be sitting here now. I would be sunning myself in Dubai, only for Mighty Potter. I'm really sorry, Mighty Potter, but FFS, I honestly, I sat there, I had done the madness of shopping before St. Patrick's Day, so I was watching in the car on the phone, and I knew the writing was on the wall. I thought he was reaching. I thought he don't like Cheltenham either. He don't like Cheltenham, and I should have known better. I should have taken him out of all of those ACCAs. That's on me. I love him as a horse, and he's a very good horse, and I know he's one of Gordon's favourites, but he don't like Cheltenham. Stage Star, pillar to post, Harry Cobden, wowzer. Stage Star's mum, I've been talking about her during the week. Another one, Sparky May, if people remember her, she was second to Quevega. she is lucky to be alive because she ended up on the other side of the electric fence at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's why she's called Sparky May. He's by fame and glory, who is doing so well as a national hunt sire. It's a shame he's gone. And her grandsire is Midnight Legend. And Midnight Legend actually ran as an entire as well, both on the flat and national hunt, and won at Punchestown and Aintree. So you have a real bit of history there. And a couple of people from the owners group sent me messages, and they said they solely got into Stage Star because of Sparky May. So I thought it was a great story that, like, they got involved because they loved the mum and they followed the mum and they won money on her, and now they could live the dream. So again, a source I am, and it comes back to me every moment that I think about Mighty Potter. I have to let that go, and like with racing, you move forward, and I know there's a lot more people worse off than me and very sore due to that bet, but credit where credit's due. What a training performance. Stage Star is very good. We have to reside to the fact now, and I think definitely there's another grade 1 in him.
Hey, another fan of Stage Star. The Ryanair, it was a bit, obviously, see Henry win it, it was superb, but Shishkin, he breaks my heart. He just jumped like an absolute fridge. He did well to finish so close, bless him. Proud of Hitman. My Hitman ran well for third. One point, he looked like the winner, and I was thinking, oh, wow, he's going to do it here. But still ran well at 22-1 for a place. But Shishkin, Matty, jumping was just never going, was he?
I think he hates Cheltenham.
Possibly.
Another one.
I know he's won a Supreme. He beat Abracadabra's ahead. And you look at Shishkin's form over the years, and you think he's only beat Abracadabra's ahead. And then he ran in was it a novice chase round there?
Won the Arkle, didn't he?
He won the Arkle. Who did he beat in the Arkle?
Wasn't anyone. Eldorado Allen was second, Captain Guinness third, All Mankind and Franco Deport.
I know Captain Guinness ran well last week, but on solid form, it's not.
No.
It's not outstanding form. So for Cheltenham, I just don't think he likes Cheltenham. Especially not in these top championship races. He did fantastic to finish where he did. And it shows his courage, the actual engine on the horse. To finish staying on second like that was fantastic. I believe he's going to Aintree now for the 3-mile one. I have no problems with him staying that, especially on a flat track. Everything will happen just a touch slower as well, which will allow him to jump, get him travelling. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins that, no matter what turns up.
Okay. What about Envoy Allen? Has he got any more grade 1s in him, or was that just his?
Well, we write these horses off all the time. They come back to bite us. He's a funny horse, isn't he? He broke my heart a couple of years ago, and then he comes from nowhere. Yeah. You'd be silly to rule him off, rule him out again.
Definitely. Poor old Hitman Dawn, bridesmaid again.
I'd say the second and the third hurt Joe, did it? It did, yeah.
Wasn't a very happy man.
No. I think like that last week was an emotional roller coaster, that way. Hitman ran a very good race, and for a moment I thought, this is it. This is his day. And then Envoy Allen came, and we seen the Envoy Allen that we knew and loved. And in all fairness, Cheveley Park, one of the guys was on with Nick Luck 5-6 days beforehand. He kept saying Envoy Allen, and we went, no. I did myself, and you know me, I love the romance, and I went with my romance of Shishkin. I didn't go with Envoy Allen, but again, that day I said I was out shopping, and what did I see? I seen a rainbow, and we went, there you go. And it was beautiful again. It was another lovely, poignant win. Scenes afterwards, his old groom, Shawneen, in the stable with him. It was, if that didn't melt your heart, nothing would. Shishkin, I know Nicky said today in an interview, yes, he's Aintree, but he'd be mortified if he didn't win at Aintree. Very, very good horse too. Did I want them 16 lengths again? I would have settled for half. It shows the horse has so much guts and so much heart, but did it come too soon after Ascot? Fakir Duderies, if you go that kind of route, he skipped Cheltenham, he's straight on to Aintree. Did Shishkin pay the price? I know Nicky had to run him, but maybe if he saved him. But then again, am I taken away from Envoy Allen, who was extremely good and was the old Envoy Allen? I don't know. I really don't know. I hope he wins at Aintree. He should win at Aintree. And maybe Matty's right. Maybe he just doesn't like Cheltenham. But then you could say, well, he's won twice at Cheltenham. But what's he bet? So there's so many arguments. There's so many cases you could make. I'd French Dynamite in it, and I thought he'd keep third. You done me for bloody third. But that's, I can't not say I didn't enjoy Envoy Allen. One of the greatest comebacks I've seen. It was beautiful. Shishkin, I'm going with it came too soon off Ascot.
Okay. Matty, 25-1 for next year's Gold Cup. Shishkin?
Not for me.
Right. Stayers hurdle now, and I hate this. And I even hate it more after the result from last weekend. I couldn't see that coming. And I just don't like it, May. What do you think about Stayers hurdle?
It's a funny race, isn't it?
Oh.
I actually should be kicking myself because every interview I've seen of Harry Cobden and Paul Nicholls before this. Sorry, now I'm thinking of the Outballer here. Sorry, miles away. Stayers hurdle. Yeah, terrible race.
For punters, yes, except for one.
You cannot knock Saidi Burley.
No.
He's multiple Cheltenham Festival winner. He sees them gates at Cheltenham, he sees the hill, and he's like, today's my day. That's him. Whether it's Potemps final, Stayers hurdles, he rocks up to Prestbury Park and he's like, yeah, today is when I'm going to perform. And that's it.
I'm not even going to waste my time watching the race next year. I'm going to go tournaments. Stayers hurdle done.
Look, age is only a number, but I'm sure you could hear the screams. Myself and my mum, every time we back him, and we back him. And he's a little dude of a horse. He's Tiger Roll's best friend. And he's just like, he's 11 now. And he doesn't know that he's 11 because I heard Aidan Coleman coming in and saying, oh, Paisley Park, he's old now. Well, the winner is the same age. But Tia Poo, what the hell? Like, I was so certain. But you know what they say about certainties. I was so certain. And I don't know what the hell was going on. Flooring Porter just went, and I thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be 75% fit. And he's going to sluice up, and he was still a mighty fourth. No, he was fourth. Sorry, because Tia Poo ended up third, and then poor old Dashel Drasher, who I see there appealing that.
Yeah.
I can see why. I really thought that was very, very harsh. But wow, Saidi Burley. And I know there was one certain blonde pundit who put him up when he was like 66-1. Am I jealous? I don't get jealous, but I'm a little bit jealous, having been in the yard many times, having cuddles with Saidi Burley. He didn't pick up the phone and tell me. So yeah, the Stayers will hurt for a while. It will hurt for a while, but I'm delighted for the horse in the yard. That's my political answer.
The day 4 now, and before you give me a lecture on the Triumph Hurdle, this is a race, Triumph Hurdle. Ever since I claimed that victory on Burning Victory won for me against Goshen, I've had bad luck every single year in this race. I think it's a bit of karma. So, Matty, what did you think of the Triumph Hurdle?
I thought we've seen a fantastic filly.
Yeah.
I think she's special. And
is she a mare's hurdle horse or champion hurdle horse? Bear in mind, you've just put up in Paris. Don't forget.
But the logistics of it is juveniles going forward.
Yeah.
You can put a line for him straight away and say, she'll struggle. If I owned and trained or whatever, I'd keep her to the mares route, especially for next year, just to see if she has sort of trained on. But by God, she's good. She is very, very good. We actually had 2 runners in the race. Jipco and Active Duty.
Yeah.
And I felt a bit sorry for Jipco because he hasn't been in the country that long and it was quite a tough ask for him. And then Jupiter's Tajik went 1,005 miles an hour.
He makes me laugh.
And then we had a lovely toe into the race, and then he stopped a lot quicker than we all thought. And then poor Jipco was left out in front. He's only been in England 4 weeks, and he's there left in front 4 out in the Triumph Hurdle. So I'd say there'd be more to come from Jipco than the bare result.
Okay.
And Active Duty, he ran his race.
Any of them head to Aintree?
I'm pretty certain Jipco will. I've got a feeling Active Duty will go for a juvenile handicap. Is it a Sandown maybe?
Yeah.
But they both ran the races in a very, very competitive race. But by God, she's good. She's very good, and she gets me excited. She's good.
Friday was a pretty good day for you, Dawn. It started well, didn't it?
God. Believe in unicorns and believe in Lossy Mouth. And how long did we sit? I mean, I don't like saying I told you so, but I told you so. And Willie's fillies, the first 3, wowzer. The man's got a magic touch. But when it comes to the fillies, I think the first 8 or 9 home were all Irish as well. That was a super juvenile. God, to me, that was one of the best races. But I did my big speeches about her. I'm so delighted for the breeder of Lossy Mouth too, because he said she was a life changer for him. And she is a life changer. And she just wanted it. And she was nearly telling Paul, she was like, just let me go. I'm well able. Just let me go. These others are annoying me. I want to go. And when it kicked in, she just went. She is magic. And I followed her. He'd be her cousin on the dam side. I'm getting real deep here now, Lord Glitters, and he was such a great globetrotter. And she reminds me of him. And that day at Fairy House when she was 3-1 and she hacked up, first time putting her toe into Irish soil. Like with Galloping the Champ, John Durkin Day, I said, there's my Gold Cup horse. That's my Triumph Hurdle horse. And yeah, okay, we say the Triumph Hurdle curse, but look at Apple's Jade. She was second, and then she ran in one of the best mares the year after and went on and done amazing things. From what I hear, what Willie is saying is Lossy goes in the champion hurdle. And Matty, you can keep in Pere Pass. I am going to say now, anti-post, believe in unicorns and believe in Lossy Mouth. And 12 months down the track, wherever we are sitting, hopefully I'm sitting in Dubai, Joe will still ignore me and still not back her. So, and can I just ask, where did Blood Destiny end up?
It's still running.
He's out there somewhere. Matty, you go out and catch him there.
Probably out with Matty on the Friday night in Cheltenham.
Probably, yeah.
Right, that's enough of the Triumph. We'll move on to the Albert Bartlett and Stay Away Faye for Paul Nicholls and Harry Cobden, and this was a proper performance in my opinion. Just a proper grinded out job, wasn't it, mate?
Oh, fantastic. Paul and Harry have said for weeks and weeks in every interview, Stay Away Faye is too overpriced. He'll run his race.
I don't think the drama with Corbett's Cross would have mattered if. I don't think he was getting to Stay Away Faye, do you?
Nothing would have had to Stay Away Faye.
No.
Corbett's Cross might have finished second and tried to get past, but no. Very impressed, but it's another race that does leave the mark on horses.
Yeah.
But I think this lad's tough. He is tough. And he's still got a lot of learning to do as well.
He reminds me a bit like, not in shape, but the way he goes through his race. You know what I mean, Harry?
Yeah.
He was tough.
Yeah. And he's looking at the horse, he's still a shell of himself. He's still got a lot of growing to do. So come next year, he will be a nice staying novice chaser.
Chaser next year, do you think?
I think so. He's big, leggy.
He stays hurdle. I watch the stays hurdle next year.
He is a big, leggy sort that will fit into his frame, and he will be a strong 3 mile chaser next year, I'd imagine. Especially with Paul Nicholls training him as well.
Yeah. Were you impressed, Dawn? Was there any hard luck stories in behind?
Of course there was hard luck stories. I totally disagree with both of you. I totally disagree, and I'm hurt. I'm sure JP is more hurt than me, but he can afford to be. Yeah, look, we're lucky enough to kind of have a bit of a chat with the breeder now, and there's a 5x5 rule. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't really give it the 5 minutes. And the whole thing was, as long as Mark was okay, as long as Corbett's Cross was okay, that was the main thing. Now, I know Mark, again, he stood down for a bit, and thank God he did get up, because it was nasty. It was very, very nasty. The winner was very good, and Harry, I went back to kind of hurt myself and seeing that Harry kept saying Stay Away Faye, to the point of where, like me, saying Lossymouth consistently. So a very, very good winner. A bit of a mess of a race, though. It seemed to, like, the wheels started to fall off from start to finish. A couple of my each way plays, again, they're probably still cantering out there somewhere. It was a real head scratcher for me. Stay Away Faye is very, very good. Do I think Corbett's Cross would have beaten? Yes, I do. I will say that until I have passed on to wherever I'm going. And Sangor Clegane, Paul Nolan's, he came close to Facile Vega a couple of times. I really like that horse. He's skipping Aintree where he goes next. Keep an eye on him. Really like that horse. He's always there or thereabouts. I thought he ran a very solid race. But I'm going to disagree with you, darlings. I still think Corbett's Cross would have won. That's another Gold Cup horse in the making. All going well that he stays safe and sound.
Okay, talking of Gold Cup, that is the next race, and it broke my heart. Brave Man's Game. He just gave absolutely everything, jumped everything, and just when they jumped the last, I thought, oh, maybe Brave Man's Game might have him here, but then obviously the writing was on the wall. But I just felt I was heartbroken for Harry Cobden and Paul Nicholls. Watching them both come out, they were standout in the paddock. They're absolute beautiful horses, monster, especially Brave Man's Game. He's a monster of a horse. Do I think Brave Man's Game can come back next year and beat him? I do. I do think Paul Nicholls is the man to do that, and I'm going to back Brave Man's Game for next year's Gold Cup and post. I think he has every chance to turn the tables. Matty, what would you say on this year's Gold Cup? I disagree with Henry saying Abu Tadi's back. I think that was shocking. I don't think he's back at all. But the front two are very good, aren't they?
The front two are exceptional. The two horses that I've tried to crab again all season.
Yeah.
And I've been firmly put in my place once again. But it was a fantastic watch. And regarding Plutar, I wouldn't say he's back, but I think what happened was too early for him to rule out. I'm not saying he would have won or he would finish second, whatever. We don't know, but I wouldn't say he was finished, sort of thing. But what a pair of animals them to the front two are. Wow.
The picture of them jumping the last was exactly the image racing needed.
How did Willie get that in the Martin Pipe? Like, seriously?
Because he's Willie.
We actually had the fourth in that race in the Martin Pipe. Like that year, he finished second at Ludlow today off 120. And Galloping Deschamps won the race and he's winning Gold Cups. Like, it is crazy. But the pair of them are special animals. And I felt really sorry for Hewick.
Yeah.
Because he was running a mighty race on ground that was far too soft for him.
Yeah.
He's a little legend, so just keep an eye on Hewick. Wherever he goes,
Go Sandown.
Sandown, yeah. He'll turn up and he'll probably win that. And he'll be in the pub with a Guinness before we're back at home. So, no, great Gold Cup. And I just think Galloping Deschamps will win it again next year.
I've taken him on and I've said bad things about Galloping Deschamps and he's left me with a black eye, but it's only a black eye. I'll be back next year to take him on again with good old Braveman's Game. And Dawn's sitting there. Come on, Dawn, have your say. Hang on. You got the mute button, Matty.
Mute, block, and delete. Oh, Jesus. He was just... there's just something, again, like I say about Con Hill, he's ethereal. I went down 2 days ago and there was a gale. It was apocalyptic to go and welcome Galloping Deschamps home. And we walked the village with him. And he just oozes. There's something so special about him. And he knows he's a champion. And he does it so easy. And Adam, who does them, the two of them together, Willie says he doesn't let Patrick or Paul near him because Adam is 12 stone and he keeps his feet on the ground. Like that great picture, the one of him in Braveman's Game. But there's another great picture of Galloping coming to the line and he's like a bunny. All legs are up off. He's literally levitating. He's amazing. And like I say, he's the only black horse in the Weatherby's book because they say black horses don't exist. Well, there's Black Beauty. His sire lives in Sardinia. There's another good... a little bit of mystique about him. And there is a lot of mystique about the horse. Braveman's Game, he ran a brave race. And I thought he ran a very, very good race. Harry gave him a brilliant ride and a brave ride to try and put it to Galloping. The Irish Gold Cup, people were very split. They kept going on that no, Galloping wouldn't stay. He would have went around again and won. He would have ran around backwards and won. He'll win next year. He could win the year after, but then you've got him and Con Hill. You're going to have a race of a century. If the two of them, I think Galloping Deschamps will be the only one that will put it to Con Hill. I really do. Conflated, I just want to say fair play to Sam Ewing for a young jockey to be able to bring that type of A game and ride at 20 minutes before one of the biggest races. Fair play to him, and a very, very good third at 22-1. Noble Yates ran his race. He was fourth. That sets him up nicely again for Aintree. Plutard, who knows? Who knows? Is it kind of like a thing of, will he do a many clouds maybe? No, he doesn't go to Aintree though. He doesn't have he doesn't have a granite. Statler as well. Statler was too bad to be true. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the explanation was. But the first two horses, my word, what a fantastic race. But Galloping Deschamps, I'd stand in the rain every day to just see him. He does it, and he does it so easy. And that is, I'm with Matty, 110%. That is next year's Gold Cup winner.
I've got that on screen record ready for next year when Brentford's game wins.
You may delete it now.
I'm just going to quickly just give a quick run through my just highlights of the week. I thought Galadriel was brilliant, even though he jumped badly. He jumped a bit better than Shushkin, but only just a bit better. The Grand Annual, Andy Dufresne was shocking for me, but little Dino Blue, she clattered the last two fences, but still managed to get a second. She ran a brilliant race, and obviously Matty, Global Citizen, was in third. Must be proud of that performance.
For that.
Obviously, Jamie's, you wear it well. He tipped you up. He fancied.
She was very good.
That was
She was very good.
performance. The bumper winner, A Dream to Share, I thought was also very good. Captain Teague in the bumper, I think that's one going forward. I'll be interested with him when he goes novice chasing eventually, but he's one definitely to keep on side. And what about Friday? Not much else in Friday apart from Impervious. I thought that was a hell of a performance to get headed, to get back up against Liga de Bassi. That was massive, and she's interested in where she goes next. On course, good Tom Johnny in the good old Potemps. It's always good when you get the Potemps winner from a long way out. It means you're doing something right. Dawn, anything else in the week you want to mention? Any of your anti-post good things or letdowns?
Kim Muir, Angels Dawn, Yates Mare. Wow, with Dawn in the name, how could you not love her? She came down, taking on Cocoa Beach in the Grand National Trial at Punchestown. I marked her up. I said it. She is a beast of a mare, and she is just so good. I'm delighted for Sam Curling. I am absolutely delighted for Pa King. Pa King actually rode Champ Kylie in his first ever point-to-point, so I had a little bit of interest there too, but she well outran her odds at 12-1 as well. She kind of saved me on the day. She was just brilliant, and I think the only way is up for her. Good time, Johnny. Liam McKenna, he deserves all the applause. To come from where he did and to ride like that. I mean, we've seen him at Galway with Tudor City, and to see Tony Martin back with those colours, the beneficial colours of the lads who own a bar in New York, it was magic. It's not Cheltenham without the handicapping king having a winner. And good time, Johnny. What a plot. What a plot. And Joe, like, you wax lyrical about the horse. I jumped on at the end, but knowing Tony, you'd be a fool to kind of stay away from what he pulled off. And at 9-1, craziness. And I would have loved to have known what he was in running. He was wow. The champion bumper, A Dream to Share. Brian Gleeson and John Gleeson to ride that at 18 years old and then back to school. Well, I know the champion bumper was a bit of a mess. Before horse Lecky Watson, I thought he was unlucky. I thought my Western Diego was unlucky, but I'm delighted for John Kiley. He's 85, 86 now. So you had the oldest trainer and the youngest jockey, and it was a brilliant, brilliant performance. So yeah, as much as I hate handicaps, I'm starting to love them now. And Angel's Dawn was kind of the cherry on the cake for me. She saved me. She saved me from the week, really, and my two anti-posters on Friday. But yeah, thank you, Angel's Dawn.
Looking at the bumper, the old slingshot manoeuvre around the outside, it's great to watch. Matty, any highlights for you from the week or near misses?
Well, the four I can pick out now are Angels, same with Dawn, Angels, Dawning, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I actually backed it in the Grand National Trial behind Cocoa Beach, and I backed Cocoa Beach Tamby Thorn the Theisties, so it was all a bit. And then I actually didn't even know it was running it until 20 minutes before the off, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have a few quid on that. So that again saved me. Poor Luca on No Ordinary Joe in the Martin Pipe. I screamed the yard down at work, screaming Luca home. Really, really thought he had it. That's a 4th, 2/3, and a 2nd at the festival for Luca over the last few years. So he's getting there, getting close. obviously, Good Time Johnny, the ride of the week by a country mile. As much as we love Sammy Twiston and Cobden and Paul on an Ergamine, and you won't see a better ride at Cheltenham Festival for a long time. But the obvious standout is Jazzy Matty. We've all been, as well, especially me and Dawn, we've always had a soft spot for him, and I backed him on my phone, online, and I reached into my pocket and I had a £10 note. And I went up to the bookmaker and I thought, do we have a tenner on Bad, our horse? He's been backed and backed and backed. And I was going to. And then the person next to me had a 5 each way on Jazzy Matty. And I was like, no, I'm going to stick with Matty. £10 win. So for name's sake, for horse's sake, for Delta Works' little brother, Jazzy Matty, star of the week. Behind Honeysuckle.
A decent price as well.
Yeah, 18-1.
And 22's in running, Matty. That's even more painful for me.
He's got a cracking name, hasn't he?
Oh, he's named after the owner's son. That's who he's named after. But he's just, as much as it pains me, and it's another haunter, just to see the celebrations and that 24 hours with the two brothers. Yeah. How special.
It's an amazing week, and I'm just grateful to be there.
Yeah, it is an amazing week, and can't wait for next year. We have got Aintree, Punchestown, Sandon to look forward to, but thanks for your efforts, and everyone, I hope we found you some winners and some entertainment along the way, and some interesting losers on some of our parts. But once again, thanks for watching. We'll be back for Aintree and Punchestown preview. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Matty. Thanks, Dawn. See you soon.
See you soon.